Cape Girardeau has a unique and consequential past, including one of the most famous men of the Civil War who later became President of the United States.
Then General Ulysses S. Grant was stationed here in Cape during the war and used a building very familiar to most of us.
August of 1861, Ulysses S. Grant is commissioned a brigadier general in Ironton, Missouri, and given the command of Union troops in Cape Girardeau.
We don't know what conditions he encountered, but in August in southeast Missouri, especially before the swamps were drained, he probably came to a wet, humid environment, and he arrived here. And he, at the end of August, he arrived by a steamship, and he set up camp or set up shop at the St. Charles Hotel.
Today, the St. Charles Hotel traded officers and room guests for barbecue and wings, now Port Cape, of course. Sitting at the corner of Themis and Main, almost on the banks of the Mississippi River, it's fascinating to think that Grant walked inside this historic building.
He was in Cape Girardeau for about 4 or 5 days. And while he was here, and this is why, his time here was important, this is his first command. And of course, he would rise from this to become the President of the United States.
And it was in Cape where Grant had his first conflict, but not with Confederates, but with a fellow Brigadier General, Benjamin Prentiss, who assumed he would be the man in charge in Cape.
So he arrived, and Grant went to meet him on Spanish Street, and as Prentiss is riding the head of this cavalry unit down Spanish Street, you can imagine Grant probably slogging through some wet dirt or wet mud or at least 95-degree weather to meet Prentiss, and the two had a disagreement, and this is famously depicted on the river wall.
In the end, Grant was found to be senior, but Dr. Criblet says history could have been very different if Prentiss had gotten command.
Prentiss would go on to serve in serve at the Battle of Shiloh, which Grant was the commander of, and went on to a distinguished military career. But that was very much a turning point in Grant's career, because if Prentiss comes in and takes control, maybe it's Prentiss that goes and attacks Fort Donelson and kind of follows that trajectory. So it was very much a turning point, a key moment in his command.
We will continue to take a look back at Heartland history as we count down to the 250th anniversary of the United States.